Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Going to the coast today, well actually spending the long weekend up here for the bank holiday. What we're doing, come to Withernsea in East Yorkshire. Got the fault of Lynn Jones. Watched quite a few of her videos, just some great sort of seaside stuff, and sort of long exposures and stuff like that. And the plan was, after popping out this morning and sort of casing out the area, come up with the tripods, get the filters out, do some really long exposures and see what happens. And sort of did a bit of a wander around, sort of bit of a recce. Gone back to the van, had something to eat, had a shower, bits and bobs at the site, and looked at the weather radar, and well, basically looked like I've got about 10 minutes before it's going to absolutely tip it down. So it's like, right, drop the tripods, come up with the camera, bit of live ND, play around with what's there. It was tide's on its way out now. When we were up early, it was actually sort of quite a way further in. Got a few shots anyway, but yeah, by the by. But yeah, going to see what I can do with it, so I can get some shapes out of these. The groin toppers seem to be quite a nice shape on these as well. They're not just a straight sort of post and stuff like that. So get down on the beach. Don't know how much talking about it, because it's quite windy, and obviously got quite a lot of noise of the sea. But we'll see what we can do. Lots of B-roll going in, and yeah, go and get some shots in quick. Now, one thing, we're actually up the South Promenade at the minute. Right down at the end, there's this post here, and there's a little bit of information. The idea is, you've got a slot in here that you can drop your phone into and take a shot down the coast, so down that area. Now, this area, the entire sort of coastline is really sort of prone to erosion, and the idea is you have to take the image, tack it on social media, and basically it's something to do with the University of Hull. They're actually doing a bit of a project on it, and we've seen one of these before at Flamborough Head, a bit further down the coastline. And the idea is they can then sort of compare the shots as they're being taken, because they're always from a fixed point, and it gives them sort of, a sort of fairly easy reference to actually look at live photographs as things are going on, so they can monitor the erosion without having to send teams out all the time. Quite a good idea actually. But yeah, going to head down the steps now, and let's go see if we can get some shots off before the rain comes. Yeah, so we're down on the beach now. So the sea's actually gone out a bit further than we were hoping, but might be able to make it work, get a little bit closer down. But yeah, each of the groins, you can see, have got this sort of flat tops to them, but they're actually held with a band of metal, so like, as the wood's shaped, it sort of leaves a bit of a top to them. Each one's sort of obviously got a marker at the end, so when the sea's up, because it does come up quite a way, nothing actually runs into it. But yeah, reason that I tend to sort of race a little bit with the rain. Camera gear, fine, no problem at all. That's all nice and waterproof. The microphones aren't, so I can't really vlog while I'm actually sort of doing the shots if it's raining too much. So that's why you might get a little bits and bobs, and sort of a very sort of short ending, and we'll get some more shots at the end. But we'll see what the weather does for us anyway. But yeah, some interesting shapes on there here though, because we've got obviously sort of the steps going down, but it's not an even piece. Bit of rope tucked up onto there as well. Yeah, so I'm going to try and sort of get a few different sort of angles, different shots. And so we'll be getting down that sort of end, getting sort of some nice live NDs of the smooth waves coming up. So I did get a few more earlier, but the sun actually started to come out. It made it a little bit too harsh, so I was sort of limited. But I think they came out all right. I'm thinking because how bright it was, probably sort of a lot of black and white edit as well, but I'm meant to be black and white at the minute anyway, so it's kind of expected. But yeah, get a few shots off, have a bit of a wander. Might actually wander up the beach as well, because I mean, just spin you around, there's actually the rest of the beach lying there without the groins on, so I might be able to do something minimalist and just get waves and stuff like that. Try and pick out some shapes as well, because there's some lovely sort of patterns as the waves are coming in, just rolling back out. Yeah, just basically play with it and see what I can get. Something completely different. It's not something I'm really normally used to doing, so yeah, good to come out and have a play. And nothing I'm noticing as well, because basically tide's going out, not a lot of people are here. It's fairly fresh beach that we've got, and some of the patterns that you get forming around there really quite nice. Might have to do a bit of post-processing to actually bring the detail out. Bit of it in action there. So, sea comes up, as it draws away, it pulls some of the darker sand back with it. And if I just zoom you in here, what it leaves behind are these lovely darkened patterns as in the sand, because obviously nobody's walked on it. It means you can get some lovely compositions, just messing around with little bits like sort of the pebbles and bits like that, because they're the bit that actually sort of give the patterns their shape essentially. But yeah, so that's something I'm going to try to get a couple of shots off of those. Like I say, quite a bit of post-processing, but I think it'll be worthwhile because you can get some quite nice effects. Great, it's fresh sand, it's not been walked on, there's nobody around, it's brilliant. Which is one of the reasons why I came out a little bit later as well, 'cause it has been quite busy during the day when we're out and about, so it's a lot more difficult to pick the shots off. But yeah, just keep an eye on the weather behind us. Good, try and get a little bit closer. See, it's a little bit strange to me. It's not a case of sort of, oh, you've got like every sort of so-and-so, you'll get a wave come up, it's a little bit higher. Completely at random, you'll get one that comes right the way up, sort of halfway up the beach. So just being a little bit mindful of that, 'cause I think it's because it's quite windy, it's sort of picking it up a bit. But I'm going to try and get something down with those groins and that marker there. Live ND64 probably on it, maybe 2.5 seconds. So I want some detail in the wave coming across, but not too much. So I'll see what I can get on it now. So I'll just take in that sort of sequence of shots there. Again, there comes the sea straight up to your feet. Was down there. Really difficult to predict, so you've got a little bit sort of mindful when you're taking it. If you're looking through the camera, you're not looking at where your feet are, so being a little bit careful with it. But yeah, might try and get, because firstly, you've got that one, the marker down there, so the groin's just carrying on straight down. If I can get something lined up, which yes, I might be able to. So essentially, you'll have the marker at the end, then the groins, a marker. You can get me pointy finger to it, a marker, a marker, a marker. See if that'll work. Just play with the composition a bit. There might, let's say, head a bit further down, because not really seeing much up. Have a little wander further down, see if there's anything different in the shapes, and yeah, see what else I can come up with. But yeah, I'll try and get that shot now while the waves are sort of just lapping around my feet, because I think if I can get it right, these little bits where it just runs out give a really nice effect to the image. It just almost like sort of underlines as it goes through it. And just managed to get myself as well, just doing a bit of B-roll. Thankfully, fantastic boots. Really good idea when you're out with this sort of conditions. Yeah, so it might work on that bit. I'm taking the shots, like I said, live ND64. I've got live view on, so I can see roughly what the shot's looking like. But obviously, because you're seeing a blended image, it's difficult to actually work out exactly where things are perfectly. So what I tend to do, I'll take like 5 or 6 different shots, because the waves are quite dynamic, they're different each time they're coming in, which seems to help, so I can pick the best of the bunch on that. So it's digital, we don't need to worry about memory card space or anything like that. We've got loads, it's not a problem. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing with that sort of thing. But we'll have a bit of a wander down. Might pick out a couple of little sort of close-ups of the groins as well. Just basically have a bit of a play, see what I can see. Touch wood, no rain so far, so we're all good on that front. But yeah, we'll see what sort of things crop up as we wander along. And yeah, hopefully, although the sea's going out, I might be able to get some interesting images. Like I said, the plan for today was going to be, and so we'll come out a bit later on when things had died down, less people around, try and time the tide about right with the tripods, get the filters on, get some really long exposures. But where we're actually parked, essentially, is down there, just on the cliff tops. Got a campsite up there, parked in the van. So we could actually see what was going on, and we were looking at it going, it might be going out a bit far, but we were also looking at the weather radar. It was like, it was 50-50 whether we're going to come out. Last minute, it's like, right, gets much later, we're going to miss out on it. So we decided to wander out. So really could have done with having the sea, sort of rather than being sort of down there, maybe somewhere up there, that would have been ideal. Gets me lots of 1 minute exposures, super smooth seas, real sort of play with high key. I'm not very good at high key, something I really need to play with a bit more. Very much into sort of the low key side of things. So it's something that I hope to be able to play with. But yeah, I think what we've got here is going to work enough to get a few different shots. I'm hoping the stuff that I took this afternoon will come out well as well. There's going to be a lot of black and white again. Apologise if you're not really into the black and white, but yeah, there's going to be a fair bit of it, I think. Except for these little red tops on the markers do come out quite well. So I think this bit now, because the light's not too bad, it's not too harsh, they might work. But basically what we're going to do now, just going to work our way down the beach, see if there's anything interesting to pick out, any sort of the odd bit and bob that sort of stands out on these groins, anything sort of interesting, just random shapes, looking for stuff like that. And again, more of these patterns on the beach. Unfortunately, where we are here, it's actually been walked on a bit more. But just pan you down. Those are the sort of patterns that really appeal to me. I just love the look of them. But we'll have a bit of a wander, see what we can find, and hopefully, yeah, get some more interest out of it before the sea actually disappears off properly. Yes, at the minute this is becoming a lot. One subject, 10 shots. Every single wave that's coming in is just so dynamic, so different. I'm really enjoying myself. But what I'm going to try and do is sort of experiment a little bit, try and get some sort of abstract sort of feel from the waves as well. Because some of the patterns that they're forming as they're pulling out are really interesting. And it's always giving a sort of ICM sort of look to it. It's quite nice. Yeah, going to a bit of a play with that as well. So we can sort of wander a bit further down. We can tear ourselves away from that. It's a lovely little scene. Really enjoying it. So if you're bored by now, skip towards to the end. There's a big gallery coming up. But yeah, yeah, keep on. Let's have a go. But go risk getting the feet very wet and see if we can get something down there. One thing I'm really liking as well is where the beaches store are staying wet when the wave comes in, it drops out, gets some lovely reflections. Now, I've been playing around with the sort of the time settings and stuff like that. At the moment, it's still relatively bright. I mean, sort of, yeah, it's late on in the day, but it's still relatively bright. It's fixing at ISO 200, f8, and about 2.5 seconds. And just sort of, just down here, really quite sort of bright white rocks. So using that as a bit of a foreground lead in to the groin in the background, and I think it kind of worked. But yeah, so it's one of those things. It's something I've never done before. A lot of the sort of the seascapes and stuff like that, but seeing all the shapes and stuff like that, it's really quite nice. It's not for everybody. Certainly, it's taken me, because we originally arrived sort of yesterday afternoon, came for a bit of wander around. Sort of did another wander around this morning, just like wrecking out, just looking around places and seeing what was here. This section is basically what's known as the South Promenade at Withernsea. The really impressive part is further up, because where the old pier used to be, fantastic grand gateway. I'll try and get a quick snap of it. I sort of popped up now for you. But yeah, really grand entrance to it. Pier, it basically lasted about 10 years from ships crashing into it back in the late 1800s. But what's left is actually quite nice. It's the sort of thing you just can't get a composition. You can only do a snap from it. There's too much around it, but it's really impressive to see. But this area here, it's nice and quiet because it's further out, and like I said, the groins are actually just really interesting, which is why we sort of wandered up here. But we'll have a bit more of a wander down, because the lifeboat station is a little bit further down there, and a lot of sort of the rocks are piled up down here as well for the sea defences. So I might be able to pull some sort of random patterns out of those as well. On the way up to the towers as well, these fantastic old shelters, but because it's quite grim and gloomy out there, and the rain has just started, I think it works quite well, because there's two of them here, I might try that one so I can step back a little bit further and just try and line it up so you've got the wall, everything all lining up nicely, running out. Might just work. It's got that sort of classic feel to it. Looks like it should be inhabited or something. Yeah, I'm going to give that a go, but just heading up towards the towers now. Hopefully we'll get there before the rain really starts, but I'll show you the bits around the towers anyway. Like I say, it's something that you can't really get a nice shot of, just because where it is, it's too built up and around it, but they're really impressive to see, so just quick snap so you can see what it's like, and then we'll sort of head back down, I think, and try and sort of beat the heavy part of the rain. So there's the towers, the gateway to the pier there once was. Like I say, very impressive, but it's not something you can really get a decent shot of. It's kind of a bit too built up around. Quite nice lights though in the evening. Like I say, the sun has literally just set. The rain's just started to come in, so I think I'll probably call it quits for tonight. Have a bit of a wander, because it's about sort of a mile and a half walk back to the van, so get back before it gets really bad anyway. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Okay, something completely different, something we've not done before, and I think I'll probably do it again. Probably try and sort of plan the conditions a little bit better and see what we can do with it. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do give us a big thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please do hit subscribe. Really helps the channel out no end. But for now, we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Oftentimes it's easier to fall apart than face yourself and hold faster